Hi friends, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to read off a blurb that I've written because I don't want to leave anything out. And this is really important. So here he goes. Now this is a pleaful call to action to my friends and my fellow human brothers and sisters both here in Australia and abroad who have a true heart to engage in positive and spiritual action that may bring an end to the aged care lockdowns and the visitor prohibitions that are currently in place in Australia and have been now for 158 days. Our elderly in aged care are suffering, they're dying, they're lonely, and they don't know what the hell's going on. And they need us as a collective and collectively to fight for them, to fight for their hearts, their souls and their minds, and of course their rights. It's now 158 days, as I said, in Australia since visitor and other prohibitions have been imposed on family, friends and loved ones of aged care in Australia by our federal and state governments. Under the cover of the reported COVID-19 plandemic and the mandated flu vaccine requirement. So in some form or another, most aged care residents in Australia haven't had meaningful contact with their family, their loved ones or friends from outside and from the people that meant the most to them before they went into aged care and now in aged care mean even more to them. Our federal and state governments here in Australia, headed up by the illustrious Scott Morrison, PM, have effectively held our elderly loved ones prisoner and to ransom by placing very cruel and inhumane prohibitions on allowing visitors to come in from outside. And this has happened in some form or another now since around about the 23rd of March 2020. Let's call this what it is, folks. It's elder abuse. And it is being done so with the full cooperation of most aged care managers of most aged care facilities in Australia, with complete deference to the government health units of Australia and with complete ignorance and indifference to the holistic health and well-being of elderly aged care residents. Me and my family are personally affected by this, by these aged care prohibitions, and I know many other people are. Many of you people watching are. We as conscious, spiritual, sentient and intrinsically loving beings created by God, cannot let this torture of our elderly brethren continue. These elderly people, these beautiful, beloved elderly people that we have looked up to for most of our lives, who raised us, who gave birth to us, who left, who are going to leave us all their money, if you're lucky, who've done so much for us. We now need to stand up together and fight for them. We must stand together now as a collective to bring this to an end. I've made this video as a pleading of support from you, my fellow human brothers and sisters, and friends in Australia, to join with me over the next 72 hours to absolutely hammer in prayer and hammer Scott Morrison and hammer the Council on the Aging with emails. When I say hammer, I mean bombard them. As many people as possible. If you feel so compelled to do so, to participate with me in this jointly, collectively, I'd like to propose 3 specific and targeted actions, peaceful actions, but peaceful and assertive. Let's be the warriors of light, guys. My family and I have been fighting to redress this issue in our own situation for 5 months now. But to be frank, we feel very alone in this fight. There's no movement on the ground in our communities here. There's no talk of it. You bring it up, in a public conversation, and most people will say, oh, but it's to protect the elderly, it's to keep them safe. Those people haven't been well informed. They haven't gone in deep into this. They may not even be affected themselves. It may just be a friend of a friend that's affected. So they don't really know the full impact or the full details of what's actually been going on. So there's very little support in the community for anyone, but that there's definitely people out there who are affected and who just need support. They need help. So this is my plea and my call out for you, my friends and people that are watching, to join with me now and get some action going on this. Our governments, the fear-mongering media, and our so-called health authorities, pardon me, have been literally bombarding us with their CV-19 narrative now for 6 months, minute by minute, day by day, hour by hour. And it's been a relentless campaign of fear and dread and of death and of illness, especially in the aged care space, all of which has either been a lie or a gross misrepresentation of the truth and facts around CV-19 and around the flu vaccination. And the aged care disasters they have been ramming down our throats and into our minds, it has just been relentless. This campaign has worked in part mostly because most of you need to watch the mainstream media. You can't help it. Most people are hypnotized by it and are drawn to it like water, as if it is your breath of life. The bombardment has been well planned ahead of time. And it's done its intended job. The specific and targeted actions I'm proposing and pleading for support from as many people as possible are simple, but they will be effective. But only if you have a truly willing heart, and only if you are truly compassionate and empathetic to this cause. Even if you are not directly affected, guys, by the aged care situation, but have these other 2 spiritual components and objectives, only if you have these things, I would love for you to participate in these 3 actions with us, together as a unified collective. It is my true belief that collectively we can direct a powerful energy wave of love, compassion, and human will against the purveyors of this crime against our elderly, this elder abuse, and bring about an immediate end to this cruel nonsense across Australia. So, over the course of the next 72 hours, can you please unite with me by participating in these 3 simple actions? Number 1, offer a heartfelt prayer into the hearts and minds of every single aged care resident in Australia and target that prayer into the psyche of those people. Pray heartfully that their souls and spirits hear us praying for them to be made aware right now that their families and loved ones have not forgotten them, that we are here for them, and that they will soon be reunited with those people. Pray as if you were in the room with them praying, that as if you were close to them. Pray that their hearts and their spirits are truly lifted up by your prayers, and pray that God has not forgotten or forsaken them. Number 2, send a brief but clear and specific email to Scott Morrison at cookelectorate@aph.gov.au. I'll spell that out. Cook, C-O-O-K, electorate, E-L-E-C-T-O-R-A-T-E, at aph.gov.au, asserting your will that you and your fellow affected Australians, brothers and sisters, demand the immediate revocation of the flu vaccination direction for aged care visitors across Australia and the immediate restoration of contact visitation with our loved ones in aged care, albeit allowing for some safety measures to remain in place, such as temperature checking and travel disclosure to be maintained, but no mandated mask wearing and no mandated distancing. And finally, send a copy of that email that you've sent to Scott Morrison. Send it to COTA, which is the Council on the Ageing here in Australia, and their email address is COTA at cota.org.au. I'll say that again, COTA at cota.org.au. If there are any other actions you beautiful people wish to take as individuals to bring this to an end, and you think they will be effective, then I encourage you to do those actions as well. But however you participate, however you feel you can participate, it's got to be done with a true heart and a warrior of light spirit, devoid of any fear or reprisal, and it's got to be done with full compassion for what is happening right now to our elderly who are slowly dying alone. Guys, just in closing, faith without works is dead. Faith with conviction, strength, and determination and action is powerful, and it's life-giving. Thank you to all you truth warriors and warriors of light that are willing to join me and my family in this action, and Godspeed to all of you, and God shine down upon you and our elderly loved ones in aged care, and let's hope this action does something. God bless you, friends, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.